I don't want to disappoint anybody, but I don't know if I arrived yet to do something that I am really like surprised or like. I think that I am a really young and novice painter that has a facility to do things, but I think that I need to go through work um, in depth.
I think art is a form of expression for an artist. It is so personal, it's inspiring, thought provoking. It's like a language in itself that can be interpreted in so many different ways and I believe can change lives. I am so in awe of all the artists that I have chatted with in this series, and I have personally learned and gained so much from each conversation. And I hope you do the same. So happy listening. Hi, everyone. Today I'm in conversation with Alejandro Señero. Alejandro is from Argentina. He's a very, very talented young artist, and he lives. Though he's just mentioned to me that he lives mainly in France. So we sort of during the course of the interview probably get an understanding of how that happened. But in the meanwhile, I'd like to say hi and thank you so much for being a part of Melting Pot and my special series on artists.
Hi, Payal. I'm really glad to be here with you, and I'm really glad to get to know you.
So let's start the conversation with a little bit about you, your background. Of course, you're Argentinian, and just a little bit about where you were born and how you
Okay.
ended up coming to France and living in France.
Okay. Okay. So my background mainly, I think, is like a villager farmer background in back in Argentina. Like with all my family and my friends live in the in the village where I live most of my life. That is called Vigan in the south of Santa Fe, and I think that 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 takes a lot of space in my life because was my first dream to live there. When I was kid, I born in Rosario. That is a like a city, a big city. And when I have 10, we moved to this village where my grandparents live there. So we go through the weekends and so on. But my first dream was to live there,
Why?
mainly most
But
of
why in the village?
because I saw the freedom of the other kids that they have that I don't have in the big city. That they could be all time outside doing things together and come back really later at night to house to just get dinner with his parents and so on. And was I was really admire about this, like this freedom that this kid has that I don't. And also my grandparents live there, and also with these other kids they became my friends. They become my friends. So after I have also this attachment to them and to my grandfathers, and so that's really good for me to go living there. I My first experience of real child freedom of childhood was in this town.
Childhood freedom. Okay, and I guess breathing in fresh air must also have been quite wonderful because living in a city, you're restricted to that with the air quality and all of that. Okay, so how did art become a part of your life?
Art, I think it appears when I was like in the high school. One, I remember that once I go with a friend, one of my friend of the village, to see a movie. with Franco, we go to see a movie, and this movie was about a group that the group, it was the Doors, and this film was about how these persons that we don't know anything about, they start to make a band and to write and to do music, and for us was like well, but well, it's really like this film really touched us in the way like if they could, everyone could express themselves like with words and with music or poetry or painting or any expression of art. And for us was like a really like a kind of the first revelation of art exists in the world, like this is art and this exists and is with a medium to transform the world and to also transform ourselves in this art. And so we start a group of rock and roll and the high school, and we start with music. Yes, I started with music. I started singing in a band for like more or less all the high school years and maybe some years more after. So maybe a total of, I don't know, well, 9 years of my life doing that and writing next to it, and also um, reading next to it. Like I have it. It gives me the curiosity to also read. How do you say leer?
Read,
Um,
read.
to read
Yeah,
the authors that these creative personage characters read also. So Nietzsche, Schopenhauer, Huxley, so on, and all this in high school. So for myself was really like a boom, like a wow.
yeah,
There's a
like
lot of things to learn in life, a lot of things to explore, curiosity, and
yeah,
go on.
inspiration. So you got some inspiration as well.
Yes, a lot of experience, inspiration and I think was in a moment of my life that you only have to go to high school, like in your responsibility. So I have a lot of free time to learn and to absorb all this, and we do it on group, also with the friends of the band and my friends. So that was really great time, and was my first experience. After was literature, after music. The latest one was painting that I think was the first one in my heart, but in my nature was always painting. But no one in my life has
Encouraged
paintings.
you. Oh, no one's
Yes,
no one's had done art in your life. In people you
in
knew.
my
No one,
family or in my
yeah,
background,
yeah.
and not only do art, but also they. We never have paintings in house, or mostly of time is photo of family photos. So for myself was the like how do you say, like the
It was
not the strangest one was painting for myself in art. The stranger form of expression was painting for myself. Literature, I go to found. Music, I go to found. Theater, I go to found. But painting was always like, okay, if you never learned this when you were a kid, it's too far away. Was too far away for myself. Was
yeah, but
like
sometimes it's not about learning. You know, okay, yeah, some artists they learn the techniques and everything, but there are some artists to whom it comes naturally. So, like you mentioned, that it was probably always something that was in you, but you just did not know that it was in you, and you explored other forms of art like music and literature and theater before you actually got to to express yourself through art. So which is art, as in all of it is art, but through painting.
paintings.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so let's move on to your paintings.
Okay.
What kind of like what kind of paintings do you do, and where do you get your inspiration from?
Okay. Well, right now I'm working, trying to go first through abstraction, and after
Fact, yeah.
take it out the form from the abstraction, like working through subconscious of my subconscious, and discovering what I see, what can I see, what cannot in the painting. And this is more or less the way I inspire myself, because it's I think this is the natural way that I learn when in my first contact with painting was in this way. So after learn some tools like figurative tools or colorful tools to apply to my work, I try to come back to the beginning in the creative process, to the beginning. So in the beginning was like I'm doing, and when I'm doing, I'm looking at it, I'm seeing it, and understand it through doing. But in the beginning is action, after is like composition, and after is understanding.
Okay. Do you think travel is something that inspires you for your art? Is it, or is it like how important is travel for you as an artist in order to create your art?
I think that travel it is very important. I think in all arts, uh, I think like mostly of the artists that I admire, and that in music, in literature or painting, they travel a lot. Um, but I think that it's like kind of how do you say equilibrio, like kind of fine line between be on the on on a comfort space, like your studio, on your the place where you work, on the place where the things happen creatively, and also go to found experiences outside of the studio. And I think in my case is kind of more like 60-40. I could be 60% in the studio and 40% doing things outside, but because I think that I found myself sensible. So when I go to
Sensitive.
so,
Sensible or sensitive?
both.
Both.
So when I go to do something, I gonna absorb a lot of experience really quick, like things that mark me, and that after I think in the subconscious they want to live, and that is also the process. Is that the I think as I saw it in the spiritual way for myself, to passing the experience through myself as a medium, and after through the subconscious go to painting, like that.
Like,
And
yeah,
I think that
that's the process. Yeah.
is my
Your
when I
personal.
when I this is my interpretation of how I function. And so I go to live something outside. I go to see my family in Argentina, go to travel to do exhibitions, or go to travel with my wife, or gonna be doing stuff together outside. When I come back, I would like to let it go, this experience through the subconscious in the painting.
Oh,
But after, at the beginning, I don't understand the link between them. But after once that the painting is done, I s- I s- I s- I start to understand. I start to understand myself first, and the first questions that I do is to myself is like, what you do this, and like, what is the but what this is in link with
With
the other
what?
things that's
Yeah,
passing through 2 months ago, and you're like, and for myself it's like a
yeah,
mind blow, because it's a kind of analysis through also painting,
yeah,
and that's
yeah.
really funny and scary sometimes.
Why did you move to France from Argentina? What was what made you make this transition from Argentina to France?
Okay, in fact, this is the beginning of everything that since I found Julie, who is my wife. So it's a story of love, because and
She's French, is she?
she's French,
Ah,
yes.
okay.
And so we met each other. I was traveling UK to learn English. Sorry for the disappointment, but I I tried for that to learn English. And after, so I learned more or less, but I found love. And after I go to Spain, and we met with Julie, and for myself was like, was in the moment of my life that I was traveling just for fun, just to learn and to meet people. And we met each other, and that's why after we live 1 year in France, 1 year in Argentina, so on. Just when we and then like in 2020, like in 2020, we just take the decision to come to France to install here, so also I can found a studio. But painting,
Yeah,
I met painting through love also, because if I never met Julie, I will never be in France in 2018. And in 2018, some friends of us that have a boat in Bordeaux, they um, contract me to do the painting of the boat, like
oh,
the facade outside.
facade. Yeah, yeah.
And that was the first time that somebody gave me a brush and paint. And for myself was like, so this is what you feel when you in the action of painting, and was really a discovery for myself. So at the beginning I was doing like street art in the boat, and after erase everything. And so they told me, and Julie told me, and his family also, that why you don't save them, these paintings, in like tiny goods or canva or paper. So that's how I start to paint, true love. Because if I always say this, if we
Yeah.
never
So
met with
then
Julie.
clearly that was your inspiration to actually,
Yes,
we've, at
every
the end of the conversation, we
yes,
have now established who and what inspired you to start
yes,
art.
yes,
Yeah. So
yes. My art is like every time that I'm paint, I think on this. I think on this love. I think of. I think in love when I paint it. I think it is for myself. It's like a memorandum of this every day. Every day, I always come back to this boat when I paint, and always come back to this summer. And when we meet
yeah,
with Julie, and for myself, it's really special in that way. It's like, yes, you could say that is my main inspiration.
which you should
The
have
other
said at
things
the,
are like more in the work.
yeah, you did not say that at the start of the conversation. Anyways, thank you so much, Alejandro. It was really nice talking to you. And your English is not bad. So there's been something out of you spending time in the UK. And
Yes,
yeah, and I like the backdrop as well, which my listeners obviously can't see, but my viewers on YouTube will be able to see you've got this very nice beams, wooden beams, and the entire it's more like a little cottage with
Yes, it's
I
like
can
a
see
little cottage.
I can see some canvases, and so that's quite inspirational as well. And I can see your art, which is nicely stacked, and yeah, that's nice. So thank you once again, and maybe we'll meet someday in France or in Spain or maybe even in Argentina. But good luck to you, and continue to do all the good work that you're doing and inspire people through your art. I mean, it's so if anyone wants to reach out to you, how should they do it?
They could do it through Instagram or with my email.
What's your
After
what's your Instagram handle?
oh, but they can search me like Alejandro Señero. I
Okay,
think that
perfect.
that is the only one with that name. But
Okay.
at the same time, I want to thank you. For real, this is the first time that I do a podcast about this subject, about painting. Also in English is the first time, and it's a really I'm really glad that this is with you, because you make me feel really comfortable, and yes, you give me a lot of good energy, and I feel really comfortable to talk with you and to explore together the ways that the creation flows.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you. And it was really lovely talking to you. Thank you so much, Alejandro.
Thank you.
For more weekly conversations, do listen to Melting Pot on Spotify, Apple, and Google Podcasts. Follow us on YouTube and on Instagram at Podcast Melting Pot. So until the next episode, this is Payal signing off.